Welcome back. Week 3, episodes 4 and 5 of Bachelor in Paradise. I'm not going to waste your time with silly antics. I have 3 key lessons, what we can learn in love. 1, how to talk about different love languages. 2, how to break up in a way that works for everyone. And 3, how different partners bring out the best or worse in us. Stay tuned and make sure you subscribe to my channel. Welcome to Reality TV Therapy with me, Dr. Diane. Welcome back. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Again, I don't want to waste your time, but I've got 3 key lessons today that I think we can learn so much in dating and our relationships, and I just want to dive in because there was a lot of silliness, shall we say, with production and the ridiculous storylines of Ashley and Jared and the fake suitcase. So the fact that even this silly suitcase and people are getting so riled up about this, like, we got to calm down, slow down, and say that's not even true. But you've got Twitter for all of that. And I just really still feel, though, like I want to protect the people who come on the show. I want to protect Salley and even Jared and Ashley. They signed up for one thing, maybe thinking they're the couple that comes back and says, you know, this process works. And then they get dragged too because they become this whole other storyline. It's not their fault. But let's go back to the 3 main storylines that I think we can learn from this week. 1, how do you talk to your partner when you have different love languages? Here I'm talking about Genevieve and Justin. 2, how do you properly break up? And I mean Michael, A, and Sierra. And 3, what about Brittney? What can we learn from her about being authentic? Okay, let's start with number 1. I said in last week's video that I was holding my breath to see how Genevieve would handle the Justin situation when just the week before, it was Justin who was on a date with Victoria F, and Genevieve was spiraling. Now she's in the exact same situation where she's the Justin in this case, right? She's on a date with Aaron and things are going well. And then how does she handle it? Well, number 1, I thought she actually did a nice job that she pulled Justin immediately because that was her chief complaint, right? With Justin, that he hadn't done that. But here's the problem that I have with this dialogue and why their conversation was so frustrating. Because I didn't think, and this is the lesson to learn, that Genevieve was very clear about what she wanted from Justin. And this happens, it's more common than you think. So, for example, in this scenario, there could have been one of, 3 different possibilities. 1, Genevieve said, I want to get back on track. I need something more from you, Justin. 2, I need you, Justin, to step up and fight for me, even though I'm still ambivalent. Or 3, we're having a breakup talk, and I don't want to hurt you, and I need to figure out how to let you down easily. But here's the thing that we can learn from Genevieve, and I want you to really take this to heart. It's really, really important that you have your own dating journal, your relationship journal. And that in these moments, we need to downregulate, work on our own nervous system, our own overreactionary or dysregulated stance, and think about, what do I want from my partner? Do I want this to move forward? Do I want to break up? Do I need more support? Because if Genevieve really thought that through, then I think the rest would have been more clear, right? But their conversation was circular because I don't think Genevieve knew what she really wanted. Okay. So the point is to not throw Genevieve under the bus. She's already getting enough negative press for that. But the point is to say, now, if you were calm and with some reflection, how might Genevieve have repaired that? Okay, so say number 1, her goal is to repair things with Justin. How would we handle this in a more ideal world? As a couples therapist, you might have heard me mentioning something called leveling. I need to get my partner and I on the same level. So it doesn't feel like one's above or below each other, but we're both feeling it. Okay. If this were me and I wanted to repair things with Justin, this is what I would say to him. I would say, Justin, I wanted to pull you as soon as I can, coming back from this date. Gosh, I have such understanding for where you were just the day before. We have to have a conversation about the elephant in the room, right? The sort of the hypocrisy. But you have to have empathy too. So what I would say is, I can see where you were when you went on that date with Victoria, that it's so hard to come back and tell you that I had a really good time. And now I'm so appreciative of the position that you were, because I'm in the same position too. I'm leveling. I'm trying to connect with my partner on the same level. Okay, now if she keeps wanting to repair this, I would say, but the problem is that you and I, we have different love languages. And I'm physical. I've already said that. I like affection, kisses. I like a hug. And that makes me feel safe and secure. But I think you're kind of an acts of service guy, right? Now, I don't know this, but all I know is that Justin had given her a birthday cake, and it's everybody's birthday on the beach, but he gave her the birthday cake, so that's an acts of service kind of love language piece. But we didn't see that, right? What we saw was that Genevieve was angry. She was angry, and she says, Justin, you haven't been consistent, and you haven't made me feel special. Like, to me, that feels like a breakup talk. So I'm like, where are you going, Genevieve? I'm not sure about this. But that's classic for an anxiously attached person, that she's going to have this anxious, angry problem with her partner, and that's Justin in this moment. But she's like holding him accountable. I told you that this is my love language, and you haven't done it. So now I'm Justin, and I'm receiving this feedback from Genevieve. Is that going to make me want to meet her love language more or less? Because if I'm Justin, you're macking on Aaron in front of me, and like, I don't know that you want me to keep pursuing you. You're kind of telling me that I suck and I didn't meet your needs, and you're upset with me. So you have to think, is my message, if this were a repair, is this the way that I'm going to get the repair? And I think we lose sight of the objectivity. We're so in our own emotions, it makes it very hard to think about, what is this like? In fact, other contestants on the show have said that's the beauty of the show, because it slows it down and you get to see yourself in all your rawness. Okay. And maybe, Genevieve, if you watch this, you'll look in it and say, yeah, there's a point. I lost sight of what message was I sending to Justin. Okay. Then if she wanted to go on, she could say, I can see by the way that you look at me, Justin, that you really like me. But I think you show your love language in a different way. Did I get that right? And then Justin could say, yes, I do really like you. And then maybe you have a conversation like, hey, I'm scared. Because what I felt was missing here is that Justin's kind of scared because he sees her come back happy with Aaron. And Genevieve was scared, remember, that he had a connection with Victoria F. But also, Genevieve's getting lots of information from the other women that remember Salley at Stagecoach. And if they both leveled this, I'm scared, you might be more interested in Aaron. I'm scared, you might be more interested in Salley. And then they actually had a conversation about, are we going to leave those other relationships? What are we going to do as a couple? You see, that would be like a mature conversation. Okay. That's how you would really talk about it. We would talk about what our love languages is. We would talk about our differences, and we'd talk about what we want and need to feel safe and secure in a relationship. That would be like grade A kind of level communication. Okay, now possibility 2, that Genevieve wants Justin to fight for her. Her ego's in it. She likes this. She's not certain, maybe, right? She likes Aaron, but she's not sure. She only went on one date. And she really does want to play things out with Aaron, which is fair, right? Even Justin said that this is part of the process, having conversations, figuring it out. Okay. So if she wanted Justin again to fight for her, you're talking more about, Justin, you know, if you really want to make me feel special, it's these little things, the little kisses. Help me know that you're thinking about me. That would really care. And I know it's so hard for you because I just came back from a date. But if you did that, then that would be really ideal. Okay, if that's what Genevieve wanted, but I don't know if she knows, right? Okay, number 3. If Genevieve wanted to break up with Justin, she could have done that too. She could have said, hey, I'm so sorry. I thought we had a connection, but now I'm finding that I'm having a stronger connection with Aaron, and I really do think he's a better fit for me. I hope you understand, no hard feelings. But we didn't see those conversations. We just saw like them talking about counting kisses, and it felt circular. And that's what happens for so many couples, that if you had just slowed that down, written in your journal, what do I want from my partner, and then delivered that, that would have been amazing. And if you even said, I want to repair what we had, or I'm breaking up, clarity is everything. Okay? So that's my emphasis here. Now, what is fascinating that we notice about Genevieve, and back to how some people bring out the best in us, Aaron, I think, is bringing out a better side in Genevieve if you just focus on that. So, you know, let's go with Aaron, because he naturally is meeting Genevieve's needs. He is more affectionate. He is more physical. We see him hugging, kissing her. If that's the case, then we see Genevieve feeling closer towards Aaron, and that may be the answer for her. But think about that too. Some people are going to make us feel more anxious, and Genevieve was feeling anxious with Justin, this idea about Salley. Maybe he didn't close that loop for her enough, and she wasn't getting her needs met. So think about how somebody brings out either that feeling of safety, or they bring up anxiety for you, because that's very, very telling. Okay. So overall, yes, I think Genevieve has a lot of growth and she can learn a lot. Her insecurities got the most of her, and that came out with her feelings towards Salley. That wasn't fair. I'm sure she will know that too, but the hope is that she will learn from this. She will learn to calm herself down, and then we can kind of move forward and make those repairs with other people too. Okay, let's move on to my second big lesson, how to do a proper breakup. I had said in The Bachelorette that I thought Gabby really had this down. She did a really nice job. Remember when she was breaking up with Nate, she had a lot of appropriate affect, told him how much she meant to him. I thought that was excellent. But there were parts of this breakup that just did not make sense to me. I did a whole post about this. I did an interview with Sierra. I'd love for you to check that out if you haven't seen it already on Instagram. But the problem is Michael is feeling bad, okay? Sierra gives him the constellations. She's all in her glitter. She's looking beautiful. Michael, I have this gift for you. This has nothing to do with me. This has to do with the stars, your wife, your son, and you, because supposedly they talked about black holes and the stars and all of this. So she gave him a very thoughtful gift. But now Michael's saying, oh my gosh, she's moving too fast. He's telling other people this, not necessarily Sierra this, and it's just too much, and I think he really, really feels bad. He feels bad he's not there. Now the question is it his grief? Is it that he doesn't feel it for Sierra? And this is the part that I want to talk about, because you can get yourself into a lot of unnecessary hot water by using the wrong excuse. But Michael's vague. He says, I don't know why I'm doing this to everyone. I push them away. I hurt them. And what is Sierra supposed to do with that information? Okay, thank you, Michael. This is the pattern that you have. But how does this relate to me? He's basically saying, right, that I'm not ready. And Sierra, though, because I had a conversation with her, would have wanted just more honesty. You could say something. If I were Michael, I could have said, Sierra, you're great. And oh my God, someday you're going to make a great mom. James would be lucky to have you as a stepmom, but I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. I wish I could will myself. You're so terrific. I might even regret this, but I just don't think it's there for us. Okay. But instead, he says, I'm not ready. So that doesn't age well, because if you're not ready, Michael, then wouldn't you take yourself off the beach? But Sierra's leaving and Michael's staying, and that doesn't fit to the rest of us, right? This is a storyline, and we've heard this storyline before. He said the same thing on Katie's season, that he needed to go home to his son. And that was true, because that was a longer time, and he went on Bachelor in Paradise because it's 3 weeks instead of being The Bachelor and it being much longer. But if you're not ready, Michael, everyone understands that. My husband was a widower. I get it completely. But then don't be dating in such a public way. And so I think most people were really feeling for Sierra because, A, what is she supposed to do with that information? You hurt everyone, and oh, we're just supposed to be friends, and I'm going to stay here and watch you make out with other women, and I'm going to have a love triangle. And so nothing but respect for Sierra to say, I'm not going to participate in this. I get it. You're not ready. I'm out. I think that was a right move for her, and you'll see in my interview with her, it was so authentic and true to her, and she had reasons for why she did come on with the energy that she did. I want you to hold your thoughts on that. But the way that Michael has done this by saying he's not ready, again, so you're going to be ready for the next person, but you weren't ready for me. And for me, I cannot help it, but I was thinking, is this a Piper and Brendan situation? He was waiting for Piper, and Natasha got in the middle of all of this, and that turned out ugly, and we know that. But is Michael waiting for someone else? And Sierra got caught in all of that kind of the way Natasha did. And that's just what didn't feel right to me. Be clear. It's so awful, the ghosting that we do, and the saying you're ready or you're not ready. You're not a fit for me. And that is okay. That has to be perfect language. The whole point of dating is to figure out whether somebody's right for you or not. So again, so much love for Sierra. People are saying Sierra should be the next Bachelorette. I loved how bold she was. I loved that she went for it. You know, days on the beach are like years. She is a woman of faith. And so I want you to watch that whole interview. But I think that Michael's going to get into some trouble because maybe he's been getting a good at it. But his storyline is still going to play out. And I think be more direct. Okay. And everybody loved his story and wants to protect him. But you have to also show up in a way that you are taking this other person into account. If they're creating space for you, you have to be ready for that. You just really do. And if not, again, date privately. Okay, number 3, Brittney. We've not gotten enough airtime with Brittney. She's beautiful. I love the way she handles herself. She's got like the funniest little facial expressions. I just think she's adorable. But she averted the Romeo, not gonna kiss you, not feeling it. And she did that the second time with Pizza Pete. Okay, Pizza Pete has not grown. I'm so sorry to say this, but he's still talking about his business. And it's like you're on a dating show. Is it that impressive that you have your own pizza? Good that you have this business, but to the point that if Brittney wasn't feeling it, she's modeling taking care of herself. Like, don't go in for the kiss if you don't feel it. And then when you do feel it, right? Like with Andrew, you felt safe with him. He's bringing out another piece in you. But that is the point. People bring out different feelings in us. And I felt the same way in dating. Like some men, I'd be like, oh no, I don't do that. I'm not ready. And other men, if I was attracted to them, of course I would do that. So you can see that how we behave sometimes changes depending on who the other person is. And that's what can be confusing. But also, like, what is the combination? What's that bringing out for you? Okay, a quick reality check. So much of good couples communication is getting clear on what you want. That exercise that I just said that Genevieve could have done, you can do that. Stop, slow down, pull out your journal, ask yourself, what is it that I want from my partner right now? What is it that I want from this relationship? And how will I strategically think about getting that? Am I venting? That's called a slow start. I say, I just need to vent, or I need clarity from you. I need to ask you some questions. I need to understand where we are and where we're going. But if you have that kind of clarity and that kind of communication, that's going to take your relationships to the next level. I promise you. Don't lead with anger. Don't lead with kind of venting. Your conversations will not go where you want them to go. Think clearly about how would somebody feel on the receiving end of that. Sierra did a beautiful job. She was thinking about couples and togetherness, and she needs that reciprocated in kind for her. But also recognize that some people you're going to like yourself with them and others you're not, and that is a clear sign. Make sure you check out my other video with Sierra. There's just so many words of wisdom from this woman, and we're going to be back next week. There's like more in store. There's this Casa Amore. I'm thinking this is not Love Island, but maybe it is. So I appreciate that the producers are trying to mix it up. I really do. I'm trying to think positive. But we love this show. I love this show. And it's like, don't mess with it. We want to see more love. We want to see more connections. And I'm hoping that the journey is going to be worth it for all of us. Okay, stay tuned. And as always, leave me a comment. Let me know what you want to see more of, less of. But I don't want to waste your time with all the fillers. I just want to get right to the point. Pay attention to these 3 lessons. Thank you so much.